impression of the hurricane in LA.
Oh.
All right, let's do this shit. Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Matty Chymbor podcast. You're really great. Anyways, I got some tour dates coming up. August 26th, I'll be in LA. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. September 13th, I'll be in Fort Worth, Texas. September 14th, I'll be in Dallas, Texas. Then we're shooting over to Chicago in October 13th through the 15th. October 20th, we have Minneapolis. And then the 25th and 26th of October, respectively, is Tampa and Orlando. So get your tickets right here. Click that link, baby.
You're missing out if you're just listening on the audio.
I lifted my leg up and exposed my turd hole.
He's strangely flexible.
Strangely Flexible is a great superhero name. Oh my God, he's strangely flexible. The robbers are trying to figure out the bank code, and I'm just kissing my own ass.
He does nothing. It's just super distracting.
I'm just a distractingly flexible man. When I did yoga for a while, I was getting like very That's when you caught me in my most flexible era. And we didn't take advantage of it. Wink, wink.
Oh shit.
I put my legs behind my head. She's like, "What am I supposed to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just read this once."
It still turned me on.
It's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not flexible anymore, though.
I like my man stiff.
I like a stiff man. I'm stiff where you're not supposed to be stiff, if that makes any sense. I'm a stiff kitty. Strangely Flexible, stiff kitty. That's mine and Mandy's superhero duo. It's good to be back. I missed last week. I apologize. Rule of thumb with this podcast: if I don't have time, I'm not going to do it.
We're gonna get
better, and I'm gonna work on being better. But right now, I just the time we were gonna do it the day before we flew to South Carolina, and I was like, I was editing my last video on Instagram where I was playing a hooker, aka McDonald's, and I was like, you know what, I can't do this right now. I don't want to.
So if you go and you look for the Matty Chymbor podcast on Tuesday, and you're like, it's not here, shit. Well, don't worry. The next day, Misery Loves Mandy.
Hey,
will
pops
be
up right
out.
here. Pops up right here.
Every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern Time.
7 a.m. It's live at 7 a.m. I've been on it quite a bit. You guys should definitely check it out. It's a great podcast. I actually put the link in the description below. So if you are listening, click. I don't know how you get there from listening, but find it. Misery Loves Mandy podcast. But back to me. I'm a drifter. I like to come and go. I'm like a stray cat. Maybe you find me in your yard frequently, and then a week or two goes by. You're like, is that cat dead? And guess what? He's not dead. He's just out there biting some strangers. What animal would you be if you could be an animal right now?
A bear.
A bear?
They sleep. They eat. They're big. People are scared of them. What more do you want?
Your personality is not a bear.
I get to choose.
Your personality is like, if your personality was reflective of what animal you'd be, you're like a Yorkie.
What? Ew.
You're like a real
a Yorkie?
Yeah, you're like happy. You're always licking.
Okay.
Hey-o. A bear though's good.
A bear would be a Yorkie. Would be an awful.
Sorry,
choice.
I guess when I said what type of animal, what type of pet would you be?
Oh, I chose bear. You
chose a
bear.
Yeah, I was expecting bear.
Oh.
I don't know.
I think I'd be more of a Chihuahua because I like to sit on your lap and cuddle.
Oh, there you go. And
Yorkies.
you only like one person.
Yeah.
Mandy's Chihuahua back at home. Don't say it. Not
you
Rue.
had the first one.
Not Rue.
My favorite football team.
Your favorite football team?
Yeah.
What's the name of your dog?
What's my favorite football team?
Dolphins.
Okay. Finn.
Yeah.
I found this dog, guys. I didn't choose it.
Mandy found this dog, and it's weird because this is where dogs. I'm a cat guy. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't know if you can tell my cat reference before. If I can come back as an animal, I'd come back as a cat. I'm just like but this dog. I mean, I don't get dog. Cats are weird too, but it's like anytime a house pet, you can like pet it one day, and then it looks at you the next day and barks at you like you're a stranger. Your dog does that a lot, and it's kind of gets me annoying. It's funny because like even that spit just flew out of my mouth. I'm drinking red wine.
Wait, what animal would you choose if you would?
I just said a cat.
Oh.
I'd be a cat.
Okay.
I'd be an outdoor cat.
Ooh.
My cat used to just kill animals and bring them back to our place. And my grandmother, R.I.P. Grandmas always have. First off, grandmas like you trust them because they say things so confidently. First off, my grandmother, the day we got our cat, my grandmother lifted up the cat and goes, "Oh, this is a girl." And we're just like, all right, it's a girl. And then we go to the doctor like years later and come to find out it was a boy the whole time. So it's funny that we're like, and then we always, I mean, it doesn't matter, but we'd always call my cat her. Like, look, oh, she's cute. And then, so if we always refer to my cat as a girl, even though it was a guy. And then my grandmother always was convinced that cats liked eating the brains because it was the sweetest. We're like, why do you know that?
Ew.
She's like, they eat the brains. It's the sweetest. And I'm like, ooh, dessert first.
She sounds like she's had brain before.
I feel like anybody who was born in the 20s has eaten every part of a thing.
Ooh.
Isn't it weird? Like we freaking don't eat like we're fine with just like limbs. I always say it's funny how we're like, oh, let's go get some chicken, get some drumsticks, wings. When you make it possessive of the thing you're eating, it sounds worse. Like if I went to a barbecue, people are like, let me get some ribs. But then if I said, I want to eat its ribs,
Ew.
can I get its arm?
How many of its arms would you like?
Yeah, can I get 3 of its arms? Yeah, back then. Oh my God. I think about just back then, like some of the crap we deal with now. I'm like, I couldn't even fathom like being alive back then and having to like figure that. I mean, you never know because in 50 years we're gonna look back and be like, God, remember doing that? You ever think? I wonder what it will be. Like, what's the thing we're doing now that's kind of bizarre that will be bizarre in the future?
Something with cell phones. I think that
Really?
we don't know yet if they're bad for us.
Well, they'll just make them better.
Yeah, but they'll be like, I can't believe all like cigarettes. Like will be cell phones. Like I can't believe everyone.
I'm thinking
was
of
just
like
doing
more day-to-day things. Toilets haven't really changed much. Although we did see the smart toilet recently. There's a billboard in LA and they're marketing a thing called the smart toilet. Yeah, I mean, what are you doing to the toilet that makes it smart? Like how can you, I don't know what feature that it's lacking now where it needs some sort of intelligence. I understand like a smart outlet where I can voice command it. Like what am I telling it to? Hey, toilet flush. Like I don't want people to know I'm talking to my toilet.
A smart toilet cleaner will automatically flush when the user moves away. Some models have a night light and can play music.
Okay, see that's what I'm saying. You're like we're pumping the
There's more.
We're putting brains in things that don't need brains. It's like Frankenstein.
Other models have a heated seat. Do you ever sit on a toilet with a heated seat not knowing it? And you're like, it feels like I just pissed myself.
It's funny you just brought that up. Adam Ray's first joke in his special has to do with
Really?
heated seats on toilets and how he's like, I don't like it feeling like someone was just here. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm the first person in a while, which is very funny.
That's spot on. Has an automatic dryer, which that's confusing.
A dryer?
Yeah.
For what? Drying your ass? I mean, the only thing I would think a smart toilet would have, flushing automatically, maybe a light at night, like automatically, and it would have a bidet built in. Maybe we just watched Shark Tank. Maybe there's some sort of poopery mechanism that's automatically in there.
That's nice.
Okay, I can see toilets evolving.
Okay.
But toilets haven't evolved in forever. I mean, what do they do besides automatic flushing? I mean, not really much. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think what we do now, I mean, the fact that like I think one we're all aware of, driving is gonna be the thing we look back on and be like, oh my God, we drove.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, it's insane. Like when you're in LA, you just see people driving. You're like, the fact that they let people drive vehicles. I mean, yeah, you don't think much of it, but it's like the amount of accidents that will be avoided when we have self-driving cars is going to be pretty incredible. It's going to be pretty incredible.
Pretty crazy.
Saying this as I'm drinking wine, I'm clearly just...
I'm just Googling toilets.
Nice. That's a good group.
In the 1920s, the tank-type toilet was introduced, reducing a flush to 5 to 7 gallons. That's so boring.
Toilets, I know back in the day, like, I've been to old buildings where... Because it was just gravity, so that, you know, like the tank and the toilet in the back, that was actually high up on the wall. So when you flushed it, like the force would like push the shit and piss. There was no like, there wasn't really, I don't know what's inside of a toilet now that really makes that shit like, like, you'd think I would know being in construction. It's weird that I work in construction and I don't know like half of the thing. Like there's terms that people say to me. I've been doing construction for 10 years now, and I generally, there's things when my subcontractor, hey Matt, open your mouth when you talk. They say things and I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
You ever like even the lady on Shark Tank just now, she's like going to pitch her business and she like didn't understand the profit of our company.
And they gave it to her.
Yeah. Sometimes I would I'm not a person where I try to fake it. I would just tell somebody, I'm like, you know, this sounds dumb. I don't know what that means. Because I'm like, I'm not the guy in the field. I don't know.
You know what character he was gonna do an SNL audition, but next year.
I'd do it.
But one of the characters
Sounds so important, but it was a cattle call for 1 billion people. So anyways.
He'll do it next year. But one of the characters that he was gonna do, which you should explain to them, which is so funny to me, is the guy at work who just uses all of the words, not knowing the words.
Oh my God. My old company. There's like in like my any company. I don't want to act like there's some that are more corporate than others, but the last company, you just see people who are like such kiss ass, like they just use the hackiest like work vernacular. If that like these little catchphrases, like I'm gonna loop back around once I spearhead this issue, but I think you two need to just tackle what's, you know, it's like they just say these like hacky things and they laugh too much around the people, the decision makers. You're just like, I was like, I can't stand these people. They're very nice, but you see who they are when they don't turn that on. And then when they, like, that's why watching Shark Tank triggers me sometimes, because you just see people be like, is anybody else going to counteroffer the proposition? You're like, I hate when people use big words. Like, nobody just talks normal. I hate when people just purposely pump in, like, big words. That kid I used to open for would always do that. And I'm like, bro, you just read that word. Like, stop. Nobody talks, like, expeditiously. He would, like a word, like when people drop in, like, a word like that, you're just like, yes, I get it. But you're not writing a research paper for high school. Let's just talk like dumb idiots that we are.
Well, that's what you'll get out of me.
Me and Mandy's conversations just sound like cave people. You cook fire, stove, smart toilet, eat poop. Shit like that bothers me. But anyways, how do we get on that topic? Construction, going back to toilets. Yeah, see how it just goes. Mm-hmm. I told you that joke once where I was like, it's insane how much conversations trail off to the point where you're like, I don't even know. Like I wanted to do this joke once where I overheard two people. Like you hear how much somebody's conversation trailed off when you hear them loop back to the original point. And I was going to say I was at a coffee shop once and I heard this guy be like, anyways, the birthday party, we had got fucked up, took a bunch of shots. And Mike hooked up with that chick. But anyways, the funeral was really nice. That's how conversation. I mean, these podcasts, you sound crazy because I just can't remember what the hell I'm talking about. But speaking of work, we didn't have any work last week because we were just in South Carolina. And it was pretty fun. It was fun. I like vacations. We were with my family. It was all of us crammed in one Airbnb. It was good to spend time with everybody. And I thought me and Mandy got pretty. We weren't drinking a lot, and then we just decided to just let loose and just eat like shit. And it was really fun. And this wine is kind of like you got to taper off. Mm-hmm. I could cold turkey if I'm really into it, but it's a Sunday, and I don't want to. I mean, I don't know if I'm an addict or what, but anyway, South Carolina was good. It's just like, I mean, in a nutshell, very hot, like too hot. When you're by the beach and it's like in the 90s and humid still, It's a little much.
I'm used to it.
You're used to it from Florida, but I mean, at some point, I'm just like, okay. But we had a good time. I mean, what do we do? It's one of those vacations where I'm like, what do we even do? We went on a boat tour. I learned about oysters, saw a lighthouse. I mean, it was very like family vacation, which I do appreciate. We had a good time, but it was fun because like, when was the last time you took a vacation where you went on a horse and carriage tour?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like
ever.
It was interesting. I mean, it's weird vacationing to a place like when we took the horse and buggy tour around Charleston. It's just like they're like, oh, this, talking. Just say it. Very racist past.
Yeah,
so
it's weird.
It's weird to like be going around and they're like, this guy, one of the richest guys in town, and you're like, he owned a plantation. Like you're kind of like, that's so. I don't know what to think of it. It's interesting to see the history, I guess, and how like they're talking about how the houses are really close together and all this shit. I'm just like, they were just fucking weird. It was just weird. It was eerie. I don't like that shit.
I think it's because it was very eerie. It was strange to me that people still lived in these very, very old houses. Like they seemed like they were fake.
People still live in them.
Yeah.
They're all like built back in, I mean, what was it, the 90s? Hey, you thought this wasn't a comedy podcast, baby. No, people back then, it's like, that's one of the things she told us, that wealthy people lived closer to the water because there was a breeze, because that they thought the breeze kept away like a bad spirit, which it turned out just to be malaria. I'm butchering that statement, but basically there was an outbreak of malaria or whatever the hell was going on, and they thought wind was the remedy for that. I mean, they were serious. They said they built a hospital by the water because they wanted the breeze to cure bad spirits. You're like, people believe that shit. That's insane to me.
Hey, now when people are sick, they say you should go outside and get some fresh air.
I mean, I get the fresh. That could be the root of that, but I mean, just that you're like, oh my God, imagine like you think the court system and shit is unfair now. I mean, we just watched Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and we're like, I'll be honest, I'm kind of team Amber in a weird way. Everybody's like, you know what? I think they're both wrong. I'm not. Okay, maybe I'm not. I'm not. I'm neutral. I'm definitely not like all for the Johnny Depp thing. I didn't like how like he was the most popular one, and you can feel that was like a pretty big part of it. And not to mention, people were too scared to even come out as like Amber Heard fans because they would just get attacked online, which I'm like, I've posted enough bad videos to get attacked online where I'm like, I really don't care about it. I've been called a bitch and a piece of shit quite a bit in the comments, but
yeah, I missed watching it live, so it just came out on Netflix.
Why did you miss part of it?
No,
because you fall asleep during every episode.
I missed the original time it came out. This was the new one that just came out, the 3-episode series on Netflix.
Well, the original wasn't a documentary. It was the actual court case.
That's what I say. I missed it originally.
The original series.
Oh, my God.
This new season.
So we just watched it for the first time. I fell asleep during the 3rd episode, but it did seem like I thought since she lost, there was clear evidence. Like, she for sure shit in his bed.
Well, that's the weird part. It's like there was true things and then lies and then things you couldn't tell were truth or lies. You're like, it was a good documentary because it made you just constantly be like, what is happening right now? Like, I mean, there was so many parts where I'm sick of these damn documentaries where they like purposely withhold information at one part to like aggravate you or make you feel a certain type of way, and then like 3 minutes or however many minutes later they kind of like drop in a piece that was like a keystone to the earlier conversation. You're like, bro, you're like fucking with us purposely while trying to tell this story. I mean, I get it, it's like exciting to watch, but it was good. It was kind of just annoying a few times where you're like, we look at each other and be like, is this real or not? I mean, you're kind of not really telling us anything.
And then we're thinking like, they're showing Johnny Depp very aggressive, and we're like, not once did he just maybe like flicker?
But like, within 10 minutes of it, and he's in the courtroom already, he's like, I've never put my hands on her. And then there's like 90 stories of him being like, she hit me, or he hit me, he kicked me. The sister was like, I watched him hit her. So it's like, what happened to the lying under oath thing? Like, when do you, we were saying, I mean, I don't know crap about the court system, although when we studied like law and court nonsense. I don't know the technical judicial system. I don't know.
Law and order.
Law and order. Yeah. When we studied law and order in middle school, I was actually a lawyer, and I got the kid off who was supposed to be convicted of murder, and I got him off.
Good job.
I go.
You know, a lot of lawyers become stand-ups or people who went to law school.
I'm not gonna lie. The way they explained it, and I've always known this, it's like it's not about right or wrong. There are morals, but it's you basically create a narrative and how to get them like sound. You're basically creating a story, and then you have to just strategically take the freaking your witnesses and when you show evidence when. I'm like, I mean, it's like they're putting a set together, and which is pretty crazy, but. I don't understand the part where like you can't lie under oath, it's illegal, and then like I'm pretty sure I watched everybody in that whole documentary lying. And I'm like one of Johnny Depp's friends are on a flight to Boston, and he was there while Amber Heard saying Johnny kicked her and was drunk and being an asshole, and the whole time he's like, I don't know. You're like, I mean, what is the use of it? Like, can you just go into a trial now and be like, I'm not sure, I don't know? And even Amber Heard's lawyer was like, you don't remember if your friend you were flying with was messed up on drugs or not? And then literally right after that scene, because Amber was like, oh, he got so drunk he was in the bathroom making animal noises. And then they played a recording from after that court case or the court scene, they played a audio recording from her phone apparently of him moaning from the plane. And I'm like, why wasn't that on the thing? I mean, I'm like, you're leaving us out to dry. Yeah. These fucking people drive me fucking nuts. And then I'm like, fuck these celebrities with their bullshit life. You're like, fuck you guys. I mean, I don't want anyone to get hit, but you're just like, I mean, you put cameras in the corner. You knew what you were doing. Who gives a fuck? Also,
you think about the millions of people who are just beaten up hardcore, no questions asked.
It doesn't make any sense.
And you're like, let's focus on this.
I watch Making a Murderer. You're like, how the fuck is like these people getting convicted when there's zero evidence? And then there's some evidence for this and nothing. But then, that's going back to like how people were weird back in the whatever fucking 1800, whatever that era the Charleston shit went down. I mean, you think I should know, but you're like, we still have a courtroom that goes by 12 people's decision. Isn't that insane? There's things in the world, like maybe most people don't think about this. Maybe this is a comedian in us because we see things that are wrong. But I'm like, that's so weird. Mm-hmm. That's fucking. They're gonna change it. This is what's gonna happen. That's one of the things. I'm calling. Mark my words. Juries are just gonna be a bunch of chat GBTs that are listening to what's going on and absorbing shit, and they're gonna make the decision because it's insane to me that. You have to convince 12 people of something, and then that's it. Is that weird? You have to convince a softball team that this guy didn't hit her. And they're like, okay, you throw us a couple sixers. We're going to fucking.
Do they split up the genders do they do a fair gender split?
I don't know. I don't think so.
They should definitely do that.
Everything's for fucking all these celebrities. I mean, even Johnny Depp, like, he seems like a nice guy, but I don't trust dudes who dress like that. I'm sorry. Like, when men wear, like, the boas and the hats and the freaking, and the rings, and we've talked about this, the dudes with the beads on, like, I mean, shit, so much for show now that's, like, televised. I mean, we watch the news every day. I think we talked about this, where it's like, they're not reporting what's important. They're reporting what's going to get you to keep watching it. And that's how people behave now, where they behave in public, where everything's a publicity stunt. I don't know if you saw this. Like when the whole Bud Light thing went down, however many months ago, Kid Rock with his lazy eye was like, hey, fuck you, Bud Light, you fucking motherfuckers. And then it cuts to him with his AK, and he shot a goddamn 30-pack of Bud Lights next to a lake or some shit like that, and you're just like, okay, Kid Rock. Like, first off, you're doing this to seem relevant again. I don't think anyone wants to bah with the bah anymore, in my opinion. And then literally like a week ago, somebody took a picture of him at some concert, and he's holding a Bud Light.
No way.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, fuck those people. That's crazy.
I did not know that.
Bow with the bow to burn the brow.
I want to be a cowboy.
Yeah,
baby.
You're like, I mean, it's like, dude, I get it. No, I don't get it. I couldn't imagine being the point in a career where you're like, we have to do something outlandish so people remember who we are. I mean, just bow out. You're done. Bow wow.
Out.
Just like Bow Wow did. He dipped out.
Little Bow Wow?
Little Bow Wow got euthanized.
Oh my God. Where is Little Bow Wow?
He's at the pound. Don't sit like this when you say that.
Aw.
He's at the pound, baby. I don't know. I feel like comedians, and this might be a bold statement, it might not even be true, but like, that's why I respect comedians. I feel like we just disappear in a way. Like I don't know about actors. Comedians, we're like annoying in social settings, but we're trying to just be funny, which it's funny when you try to be funny and people get mad that you're trying to be funny. That's like the reaction we get. I mean, I see it even with my videos. I did the video about being in your 30s and how me walking into my apartment and one character was getting drunk and one character was 2 a.m. and they're like, you want to come out and blah, blah, blah. And the whole kicker was that I went inside and avoiding plans and fucking drinking wine or what. I forgot what the other one was in there. And like people take my comedy sketches so literal and then they get mad at me in the comment section like, your 30s is young. You fucking... You guys got life all wrong. And I'm like, it's a joke. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying to be silly, obviously. There's not 9 of me.
And you're in your 30s, so it's relevant to you and your followers.
But it's like, I never had people mad at me, but they're mad at the situation I'm representing. But anyways, going back to comics, I feel like comics are good. Like I'll give you this. We're probably a little more annoying in social settings because a lot of comics have that class clown syndrome and they want to be outlandish. But in a way, comics are also get social situations better. And I don't feel like they're like grasping straws to stay relevant. Is that a bold statement to say?
No, I couldn't agree more. And first of all, I don't think that stand-ups are annoying in social settings. I do feel as a stand-up in a lot of settings, I don't feel comfortable because I feel like my actions are not...
Sometimes I'm sitting there also too. I'm just not to interrupt, but I'm also sitting back watching everything that's going on and like trying to see like know when to joke around or like I'm more of like I'll sit back and assess the situation. But
that's what I'm saying. Stand-up comedians don't blurt stuff out. Improvers are the most annoying people in the world, trying to be funny, want to be class clowns. Stand-ups I feel like are more quiet. Even
like celebrity stand-ups, I feel like what I'm getting at is I feel like the Kid Rocks and like these people like the Kardashians, like these people who maybe their stock is dropping and they try to stay relevant by like outlandishly dumb shit. I don't know. I have no examples. This is how sometimes I just assume something and then I'm like, I'm actually driving this with zero facts. But I mean, I see Kid Rock and I'm like, you're a fucking loser. I see the Kardashians do dumb shit. But then you're like, how much of the fault is the media? I don't know. It's super annoying. Things bother me. I get really pissed off pretty easily.
Well, they've always said forever, all publicity is good publicity. And that's what has always been a thing.
All press is bad, good press. But publicity, I guess I'll take that.
I think it's all publicity.
All press is good press.
I'm definitely right on this one.
There's no bad publicity is good publicity.
Yes.
That's what you said. Yeah, you're right. What was I just going to say? I was just going to say something. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. I was going to say, in the freaking Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, like I have a temper. I have a bad habit of just getting angry at myself for little things that I do wrong. And I don't want to say I break things, but I will kick or hit the occasional thing. And it's funny because they did say technically, even if this one person doesn't hit the other person, like say I'm in the corner of the room, like kicking the door and she sees it, or it's technically still an abusive relationship, which I found was funny. Because
I've got that in my back pocket.
Yeah, so technically we're in an abusive relationship because you've seen me hit the table and or swear aggressively at stuff.
It's really not that bad.
It's not bad. I don't want people to go on record being, this is going to get clipped one day.
And
they're like, he's a fucking crazy guy.
I mean, by just like barely punching the door and going, what the fuck?
I get mad at technology when shit goes wrong. Like where I'm sitting on my computer and like, I don't know if you've ever had this. This is the most annoying thing on earth. And Mark, I'm going to set this over because I like this clip. This is one of the most annoying things on earth. And mark my words, there's nothing more annoying than when you're trying to work on a computer and it's lagging. The lagging computer where things aren't going the normal speed they're usually going and it's slightly slower. You ever try to type on a computer that is like trying to catch up to you typing? I lose my mind. Like or like when my phone doesn't work, or like technology I have a short fuse for because I'm like, just get it right. You work 1 second and not the other. And people sound like, oh, this is first world problems. I'm like, I mean, it's in context for where we are. I'm not like going to the middle of the jungle and bitching about my Wi-Fi. It's like where we are in the moment. Like I did my friend's podcast once and I was like driving there. I was all pissed off. I'm like, my Sirius XM was being dumb. And he's like, look at you just bitching about. I'm like, it's all relative to my life. I mean, I'm not like some asshole who complains. Like, you know, I don't know.
Well, when we're editing or on a time crunch,
drives me nuts.
Things aren't working and you have to reset. It takes something that would take 5 minutes to then taking 30 minutes, which is pretty much every single adulting motion that we have to do. Making a doctor's visit. You trying to make one doctor's visit took a year to get the appointment.
And then it still got canceled.
I was
trying to go for my physical therapist because my hamstring was tight, and I never went because just shit like that. Adulting is like, that pisses me off, but I feel like just when like technology doesn't work, I'm just like, I wish you had nerves so I can hurt you. Like when my phone is just like, I'm like, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. That drives me. I mean, because then I'm like, no, it scares me with technology. I'm like, if there's little blips and glitches and lags and delays with like this, what's keeping that from happening on a plane? Or like, I look at it like that where I'm like, if it's happening here, why isn't it happening out? Like that shit gets me fucking annoyed.
Oh, our plane back from South Carolina, we flew in a day early because of this hurricane.
The hurricane. Yeah, we guess we can talk about that.
And so we flew in a day early just because we were flying in the day the hurricane's supposed to hit. And we didn't want to just get canceled, like worry about it being canceled. But
I'm going to get stranded in South Carolina.
No.
More than I had to be there.
But they delayed this flight for 10 minutes because of maintenance.
Yeah. I mean, and it was because of the air conditioning. I think it was the air conditioning at the airport that cools the plane. And then he goes, we couldn't turn that on. That's why the plane's hot. But once we get going, we're turning the engine on in our air conditioning. You're like, who the fuck cares?
But also, they didn't tell us that till we were on the plane. We're sitting there outside waiting to board.
Oh, they just say that vague, we're delayed because of maintenance issues. And you're like, hey, like when we're in an airport, I want to know exactly what's going on. Like, even on being on a plane, you ever see the light flicker? You're like, I don't like that a wire's loose, because if that wire's loose, why aren't other wires loose? That shit freaks. Although flying late, I mean, we fly so much now, it's like, and I'm not bragging because it sucks, but it's like, we fly so much now, I'm like, I kind of don't even care. I mean, literally turbulence, doesn't really, it bugs me when it drops enough where I feel it in my penis and gut. You ever been on like a roller coaster and you feel your genitals and stomach going?
My family has a saying for that. We call them butt puckers.
Butt puckers. See, I get butt puckers when I'm on like a high thing, and I look down and my ass goes. I'm saying when you like that free fall feeling, that's what I like when the plane does like one of those, and I'm like that, but. Like, God, I've been in enough flights now where it lands in the wind and you're like, people are just like, and I'm just sitting there just fucking eating my Chex Mix, the cheese Chex Mix.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. It's very good. People on planes drive me fucking nuts. The guy behind us, just a bitch dad. Just a fucking, like, whiny bitch dad. The mom, it was him, his wife, and their 2 daughters. First off, the kids kicking the back of your seat. At one point, they were kicking the back of mine. I was a minute away from being like, hey, dude, you fucking see what's going on. Figure it out. And then later, he had the kid. They had 2 rows. There was 2 in one row, 2 in the other, across from each other. He had the kid go with the mom, so the mom had both kids, and he was laying across the seats. I'm like, you're a dad. Sit the fuck up and sleep like the rest of us on the plane. So I was like, all right, that's bitchy already. And then the wife, we landed. I'm just sitting there, and she's like, I wonder if it's cold or hot or whatever. And he's just like, I just woke up. And she's just like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I hate these little cocksucker pussy dads.
Would you call him a beta dad?
Just a beta dad. Like the dumb fucking dads you see in like parking garages. They can't find the stairs, so they're walking up the ramp. You ever see those dads? You're like,
yes.
You're the leader, and you're walking them into danger. That bothers me when, and I don't want to say the mom's not capable, but like the dad's like, I got this. And then can't find stairs in a parking structure. And you're like, let's walk up the ramp where cars, there's no fucking sidewalk. It's just a curb.
And you know the wife's like, it's not that way.
And he's like, I got it. And we saw the bitch dad.
Yes.
We're waiting for the Uber. There was a bitch dad.
He was just like, please let me paint the picture. Tell him what he looked like.
He was like 6'3", 150 pounds. He had a ponytail. He was
a goatee.
He was wearing like khaki shorts and a t-shirt and like fucking Birkenstocks and
thin Oakley sunglasses.
Just yelling at his kid. Like he was having a hard time putting luggage in the car, and I'm like, dude, I want to beat your ass in front of your family. Like I just want to beat the shit out of you.
He was having such a breakdown in front of the hotel, in front of all these people. It was so embarrassing.
His kids were like not listening because he's just that dad. They were just like up. They're like walking around in the minivan. He's like, if you don't sit down, we're going to. And I'm like, they're not going to listen to you. They don't respect you. He could have been a stepdad, but I think he was their dad.
No, I think he was the dad.
Yeah. That just drives me crazy. You're like, dude, I mean, more for the safety factor of like when I'm like, you're the fucking guy they're listening to, and you can't even keep him out of harm's way. But the dad on the plane driving me, he was just a little fucking.
We see families all the time, and LA's crazy dangerous. The roads are insane. The drivers are so bad. We see these families take their kids across the middle of the street when there's a crosswalk, like right there, and they're just going for it. I'm
it's
like,
nuts.
Don't go for it.
I'm not saying be a nervous Nelly, but it's like you just see stuff and you're like, Jesus Christ. But then again, I don't know. Even being like on vacation around my nephew, you're like, being a parent, we're like, I said this too, I was like, God, you see that? Even being at the pool, and I was watching my nephew and this other little kid just like jumping, and I was like watching them, and I'm just like, oof.
We watched them jump in the pool probably 50 plus times.
50 times. One kid almost shit his pants.
Yeah, this kid was so funny.
Just like one kid was 3, my nephew's 7, but they're just like jumping in the low end doing stuff, and I'm just like, it was me and the other kids like Grandpa and Mandy were just like sitting there. I'm just like, this is it. That's what they, I'm not saying that's all parenting, but I'm just like.
And then your mom said, she's like, when you have a kid, it's all about the kid. And I don't want it to ever not about me at all.
I mean,
I share my time, but like not all about the kid. I feel bad sometimes if I go to see like my friend. I'm getting better at it now, but like your sister and my best friend Grace, who has kids, like sometimes you just get to their house and you don't even. It's like the mom isn't even there. You just acknowledge the kid, and it's just like they're not even a thing anymore.
Right? Yeah. My friends have kids now, and you're just like. I mean, it's funny because I go back and I actually don't even remember half my friends' kids' names anymore, which is like funny, and I'm like. What's his name?
With this new dick joke, let me tell you all the key points.
It's so weird to be like, this is my best friend, and I generally forgot one of his children's names. And I was like, Mason? Which one is that? No, I'm not going to.
I will say the kids' names on here. I'm like, I know.
It's just funny because you're just like that friend who's just like out of it, like, woo, come back. They're like, these people haven't been up since like 7 a.m. But anyways, yeah, now we're back here. We're trying to get our life together, drinking wine. Back on the grind.
It's hard to get in the swing after vacation.
Vacation's, I mean, we're jet lagged. We're freaking, I'm going to have another glass of wine.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know what? The fun's over. It's hard to not have fun. Like, if we got back on a Saturday, when you get back on like a midweek, it's easier to just shut it down because you got work the next day. But like today, I'm like, you know what? It's a gradient. We napped. Once you nap, you're like, all right, I can't handle the day, let alone being obedient with myself.
I mean, you're doing your podcast. So, you guys should be very proud of him.
Yeah. I mean, who the fuck knows? This thing's going to get 12 views. But podcasting, I mean, I'm trying to... This is my theory on my podcast, and I'm going to end on this because I think it's a good thing so you guys know creative where I'm coming. It's like you got to start doing it, and then you find little things that you do like and you don't like. So I think it's like the first couple episodes back, you're trying to find what you want to even do with this thing before you can even like concentrate on the part that you do like doing. So like with not to compare it, but also it makes sense. I was making videos on my Instagram for a long time. I mean, I was doing random videos. I was doing cooking videos. I was doing, it's like, then you find the one that works. So it's like, and then once you get that, then you can hone it. So, I mean, some of these are going to be boring. I don't know if you guys enjoy listening. But some people like will say a part was funny that I'm like, you found that funny? I'm like, so who the fuck knows? I think people just like hearing people talk and I don't know, all that shit. So anyways, guys, please like, comment, check out my tour dates, follow Mandy, do other things you probably don't even want to do. The internet's just people telling other people what to do constantly. Like my shit, follow me, please, comment.
Share with
follow her, follow them. How about this? Let me re-say that. You don't have to like this, don't even comment. I mean, if you want to, you can.
Ooh, reverse psychology.
Don't come to my comedy shows. For the love of God, don't come to them. And yeah, all right. Well, thank you again. This is Matty Chymbor Podcast, and we'll be here next week.
We will.
All right. Goodbye.